From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check the Democrats still want you to have, and we'll go over why they may want you to have more months of checks. Then we'll go to the recon process and why that fourth stimulus recon involves the Democrats giving you other sums of money. I'll go over what those sums of money are in the incredible great news breaking at noontime. Then in the third part of this video, we'll go over Chuck Schumer's statements late yesterday. Breaking news as the president and Chuck addressed the issue of the voting process. I'll go over the vote, the bills, the dates, July 4th, July 15th, everything you need to know, all answered. Then we cut to fifth stimulus and the breaking news as Commissioner Saul fired on Friday. I'll go over whether that impacts your fifth stimulus coming this fall that raises your benefits up a lifetime. And then we get to the big money that viewers continue to get across the board. Tens of thousands of dollars, and it's your day to get it as well. It's a big noontime, and let's get to the exciting details starting right here, right now on Noontime LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. How you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope your weather is good where you are. It's hot here. Oh, it's a little too hot. You know, summer's coming on, and I just wish it would cool down. But how's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat right now and tell me how the weather is and where you're tuning in from. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, we'll go over the breaking news. The Democrats want you to have stimulus checks monthly, but they could be giving you more months. I'll show you why in this recording. Then we cut to the recon process, and the progressives and the Democrats are putting more money in there for you on top of the checks. We'll go over why and what it is. And then we go over Chuck Schumer's breaking news in the last few hours as he's setting the vote up. I'll go over what the vote is, when the vote is, how the dates work, and what the president's saying as well. Then we cut to fifth stimulus. And the major shocking breaking news as Commissioner Saul, head of SSI and SSDI, the Social Security Administration, fired on Friday. Does this impact your reform of the SSI system in the fifth stimulus this fall? I'll explain. And then we cut to the big money across the board that viewers continue to get, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. It's your day to get $10,000 to $20,000 from this channel. I'm going to show you how. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons, live right now at noontime, here direct from Santa Monica. Coming up this afternoon is afternoons at 3 o'clock, then followed by evenings at 5 o'clock, big shows tonight, and Sirloin, of course, at 8 o'clock, so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. I want you part of this family, the best and the most comprehensive and the largest American financial news channel online in America right now. So subscribe. Next stop, 1 million subscribers. Also like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get into that breaking news right now about those monthly stimulus checks from the Senate and the House, and let's compare what changed so quickly. When you look at the monthly checks, the House bill is pandemic plus 1 year. Senate proposal is July to December. When you look at the payouts, House is $1,000 a month. After the first month of $2,000, Senate is unknown, but word on the street is it's this deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000 a person, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400 a person. That's delicious. But this is what's breaking, is that less than a week ago, well, almost a week ago, we thought that the pandemic may be considered over for legislative purposes. That would mean that those legislators would only give you 1 year a check, which on 1 year checks, which would be 12 checks or $13,000, and then it changed. When LA County led the way by saying the pandemic ain't over, then Warren Buffett, the pandemic ain't over. The airline saying the pandemic's not over, and then the news hit like a brick on Thursday. Japan declaring a state of emergency as the pandemic's not over, ending all spectators at the Olympic Games because of Delta. Midwest states like Missouri, 80% capacity of ICU beds because of the pandemic, and big concerns that the variant is certainly very important and serious. If that's the case, then those legislators who may, when they look at the House bill, may say, it ain't over. It ain't over. So let's give pandemic plus 1 year, which would be more than $13,000 and more than 12 checks. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House of Senate. House of Senate. I would see you voting in the live chat right now. Tell me how the weather is as well and where you're tuning in from. House of Senate and how's the weather? Boy, things change by the second. That's why you have to stay with this channel morning and at night. Now, who would get this fourth stimulus check? The Democrats represent that everyone who got third stimulus check, they want to give you a fourth stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 less. Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check they represent. Married couple, $150,000 less. Democrats want to give you a fourth stimulus check they represent. Just double it. Family of four, Democrats represent you would get a fourth stimulus check. Just quadruple it. Have your own benefits. Democrats want to give you a fourth stimulus check as well. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check would be the same amount for everyone, including adult dependents. And the fourth stimulus check would come monthly. It wouldn't come in waves. So if you do see the stimulus check at the pier tonight, and you see the stimulus check trying to wave at the seagulls, and you say, hey, check, I see you like the seagulls. He's just sort of waving it. And then suddenly the check just sort of falls over the side of the pier. Oh, it's a soggy check. Check overboard. Sorry. They'll have to replace that check, call the bank, we have to replace that check. So yeah, it's not a waivable check. It's also hopefully a floatable check. Mouth-to-mouth check resuscitation. Yeah. So the fourth stimulus check would come in the month of July for the month of July. Those Democrats represent in the month of August for the month of August. And those Democrats represented that the fourth stimulus check final vote would be by July 4th. So what happened? I'll explain it in the third part of this video. It's the final 15 minutes of this video. It's the most critical part of this video. I'll explain everything you've been asking for. The date, the votes, the bills, the drafts, what's in, what's not in. And what did Chuck Schumer write last 8 hours ago, 10 hours ago? I'll explain all those big details. That's in the final 15 minutes of this video, so stay to the very end. In the second part of this video, we go over the recon and why that recon has other money in there on top of this. It's very exciting. In the fifth stimulus part of this video, the second part, we'll go over the firing of Commissioner Saul, head of SSI and SSI and SSDA, firing the head of the Social Security Administration. Does the president have the authority to do it? And why is Commissioner Saul threatening to sue? Does this impact your benefits? It's all breaking at noontime. But first, let's get some money. Boy, you have done such wonderful work. I am so proud of you. Jump in the live chat right now. If you've gotten any money for rent, utilities, SNAP, or internet, post it right now. If you tuned into Afternoons LALATE yesterday or Evenings LALATE last night and saw it, you saw for your own eyes. If you didn't join tonight's show and watch it, I asked viewers what they got, and the numbers were incredible. I'm so happy for you. Rent. I have been saying that rent is about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. Viewers were posting $13,000 of rent per person, $12,000, $11,000. Nisi getting $23,000, which was $20,000 of rent because of my videos, because of this channel, and these videos. Viewers are getting this big sums of money. And then I said, maybe SNAP is $5,000 to $6,000 because I had a couple of viewers getting $5,000 to $6,000. Then John came up and said, no, I got $12,000 for my family of four. And viewers saying big numbers for SNAP. Then for utilities, I said, well, a couple $100. And then viewers saying, no, I got $3,000 for utilities. My goodness, get that pen and paper ready. We're going to go over how you're going to get this money. This is what this channel does. This channel is not about what day am I getting a stimulus check. This channel is about how can I cash a $20,000 check by the end of tomorrow. And where is that $20,000 check available for me and how do I get it? Because I want to get it like everyone else got. This is a check cashing channel. What happened was that in 2020, People were not getting paid their EIDL loans, so I started this channel to get people money that they were owed that they were not paid. That was the purpose of this channel. And I got viewers $25 million of EIDL loans within weeks, saving their homes, their businesses, and their employees' homes. But then in fall 2020, similar problem, just like now. Second stimulus was not being passed, just like fourth stimulus has yet to be passed. And I stepped forward. It was the holidays. People needed money for their bills. And I got viewers $250,000 of rent, like Tyrone, who got $15,000 for his family of four in Boston. Viewers got money to pay for their bills, and I'm getting money to pay for your bills right now, so get that pen and paper ready. We are going to get rent, utilities, SNAP, internet, and also mortgage assistance. Each place has different eligibility. If one says no, don't worry, reach out to the next. They also have their own pots of money. Are you ready? Here we go. You can reach out to your city hall, your city house authority, your county hall, your county house authority, your state hall, your state house authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or muddled blue range of options. They don't know that. They don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. There are no other ranges of options of muddled blue. It's just all muddled. And there you go. Congratulations, Tim and Linda, who got that wonderful money. If you've gotten rent, post it right in the live chat right now. Let's turn to SNAP. SNAP is money for food. SNAP is money that comes from Department of Agriculture. And viewers are getting insane sums of money. John got $12,000. If you got money for SNAP, post it right now. Post the annualized amount in the live chat. So if you get $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year, even using the Larry Kudlow calculator. So do that right now. How do you get this money? Reach out to Department of Agriculture. Why would you qualify for a stimulus check and not get SNAP? Why would you pay for your own food when it just alleviates some of your bills? So please go get it. Family of four in Hawaii now gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow, why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. Congratulations to Lynn Glenn, who got for herself, her son, and her mom, and congratulations to Gail. And if you got that SNAP post in the live chat, I am really excited for you. Congratulations to Art Sullivan, who got rent, utilities, and SNAP. Congratulations to a lot of viewers who are getting multiple items. When you see people posted in the live chat, it helps inspire you to go get the money, because you see that another viewer got it, you want to go get it. Also, if you see someone posting it, then you realize, wait, I got rent, but I didn't get SNAP. Maybe I'll go get SNAP now. And then also, it gives me an update of how the numbers are. Well, I got more money for you, and it's the money coming back from the States. We're killing it. In only 12 minutes into this video, I got you $16,000 for SNAP, family of four in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. Here comes the money back from the States. And one viewer 2 nights ago got $3,000 from this in the evening's LA show. I was so happy for her. This is the refund due to computer error of overpayment on unemployment benefits. This federal government is ordered to be paid. Where? Direct deposit to the account you had to file with the unemployment department. When? Reach out to your respective state and say, hey, state, where is that check due to overpayment of unemployment benefits due to computer error? And can you track it with a computer that actually works this time? And then finally, the wonderful money of the refund check from IRS. Last night in the evening's LA, someone said, has anyone gotten this check, the refund check for, and it was a very great question. That's why it's important to share your information, when you got it and how you got it, because it helps other people know what's going on with their circumstance. Margaret got it, Michael got it as well. What is it? Let's go over all the details. First, let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 of total taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations. You're getting back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit or in the mail. When? This month. Can you track it? Yeah, about 75% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and do a transcript search. It'll reveal stuff you've never seen, stuff that you don't want to know or remember. It'll reveal the tax return you filed. It'll reveal the taxes you paid. It'll reveal, really, is muddle blue any different than teal? It'll reveal, does the color wheel go on electric vehicles? And it will reveal, is meatless taco so meatless? And finally, it will reveal, when you're getting back that refund check. Can we top that? We can, as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Two Wednesdays ago, this massive recon was split, and hence it was shrunk. Why did this happen, and what had happened before that? Before that, the recon included money for the American people and also roads and bridges. The Democrats, the Pelosi, Schumer, the president, and Jalopal had pulled the Democrats, said, what do you think of this massive recon? And they said, no, we're not voting for it. It's too big. Make it smaller. Take out the roads and bridges. And so 2 Wednesdays ago, on a day that I call the split day, they took out the roads and bridges and shrunk the recon. The roads and bridges went somewhere else, and that somewhere else got a name, and the name was bipartisan. The bipartisan got the roads and bridges where the money for the American people stayed where it was, recon. That created a two-path process, recon and bipartisan. Why was this great news for you and a game changer? Number one, it made the recon passable. What does passable mean? It means if you call for a vote, it will pass. Not passable means you call for a vote, it will not pass. Well, we have confirmation from not just the Democrats, but also the Republicans. In a wonderful op-ed, a conservative publication, the author wrote much the same of what I'm saying in this recording, confirming ever all the details. Number one, the higher the price tag was on the recon, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon and put it into bipartisan, roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon became smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Sorry to set you up, Mitch. How does it feel? Just, it's what happened. He was set up. I mean, no other way to say it. And then it goes on to say the GOP had nothing to gain by blessing the bipartisan because it made the recon now passable. Well, that was the first wonderful detail. Second wonderful detail was that suddenly that the recon was shrunk from this monstrosity to this massively small thing. Now the progressives were able to add some things in there as well. Let me go over how they're adding it and then what they're adding. We have the confirmation of the adding in comments across the board. The Progressive Caucus has repeatedly been meeting with the White House daily to indicate what they want in that recon and make it bigger and bolder. Then we have Representative Ilhan Omar saying that we have a commitment that regardless of what happens with the bipartisan, Congress will give us a recon that goes as big as we want. There you go. And then we have Representative Richie Torres who says he's put into the recon housing. Housing? More about that in a second. I'll refuse to vote for the bipartisan unless it's linked to a larger recon. How can they do this? And what are they doing? Here's what they're doing. Because progressives are writing the recon for themselves, they're able to add things in. And now we have the confirmation they're adding things in. But here's what you need to know, is that later in this video, you're going to see that the House Ways and Means Subcommittee has represented that they will be putting monthly stimulus checks in there. Could they and put other stuff in there? Should they put other stuff in there? They should. This last week, the economic data that came out was horrible. Congress saw it, the White House saw it, you saw it, and I saw it. The jobless claims number was released on Thursday. What is the jobless claims number? It refers to people who have a job, had a job through the entire pandemic of 2020, had a job all this year, 2021, and suddenly they showed up last week and they were fired. They were laid off. What was the number? 373,000 people lost their job last week. That's a horrible number. It's up from 350,000, which was higher than Wall Street estimated. Then China announced its economy slowing. Then the stock market crashed on Thursday, worries that our economy is slowing. Then concerns about the Delta variant. Then the Treasury yields fell 1.25% as concerns that we are not expanding. All these signaled that potentially, maybe then we need to have some other items in recon. And what are those other items? Certainly the extension of unemployment benefits is needed now in the recon. You need PEUC, PUA, FPUC added in the recon. Torres says housing's in the recon. And then what about mortgage forbearance and student loan debt forgiveness? They say they have stimulus checks in there, but you have to hold them to the promise because remember, these are legislators. They can flip-flop. They do flip-flop. They can take something out as easy as they can put it in. How can they do this? Because of the protection of the recon. The recon is written by progressives for progressives, and Jalopal and Schatz both confirm that the White House has been praising their protection of the recon, with Schatz saying that the White House considers the progressive priorities their own priorities in the recon. Here's what you need to know. What is a recon? A recon is a bill. Who writes it? In this case, the Democrats write it for the Democrats to vote on it and for the Democrats to pass. But who actually puts the pen to paper? The House subcommittees are the lead authors of the recon. The Senate subcommittees watch over their shoulder. Here's what you need to know. Each House subcommittee is delegated different subject matter under the way the House of Representatives is set up. House Ways and Means oversees stimulus checks. They also oversees unemployment. They write those provisions. Now, here's what you also need to know, is that under the Constitution, there's no constitutional requirement that the House or the Senate subcommittees show you what they're doing. They don't have to show you what they're writing. They don't have to show you what they're editing. They don't have to show you what they're voting on. They don't have to show you anything. But what's also really important for you to know is that, and I'm going to discuss this later in this video, is that the editing of a bill does not happen on the Senate floor. It does not happen on the House floor. It happens in the subcommittees, and that time is right now. So ultimately, you may wonder, where is the Senate bill with the big S, or where is the House bill with the big H? But ultimately, it's in subcommittees. And all that difference is that when those, for example, 10 subcommittees are done, it's combined as one bill in just 10 seconds, and that's it. Those 10 subcommittees could have 10 separate finished parts, and you may not see it. So there is how the legislation's done. And ultimately, you need to push, because if you believe that unemployment benefits, mortgage forbearance, student loan debt forgiveness, any of those things, eviction moratorium, need to be included, and also need to push to ensure that stimulus checks stay in there, you need to push. How do we get to this wonderful spot from Jalopal? Jalopal had written a letter to Schumer saying, Chuck called a vote on the recon. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, who are among the 100 plus who had said, we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in there. Wow, can we top that? We can. As 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter, these 7 House Democrats are on that House Ways and Means subcommittee, which I just went over, that is solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks. They wrote the president saying, we're putting monthly for stimulus checks in there. This is huge because they write the recon for stimulus checks. They wrote the 3rd stimulus recon checks, and they represent their writing the 5th stimulus recon checks as well. You need to push Purple Power and make sure they keep their promise to us and the American people. Can we top that? We can. It's now official. That ceremonial signature that the president did overseas 3 weeks ago to now is finalized. The final vote, the final formal signature has been effectuated for the global minimum corporate tax rate. Why is this huge? Because now it makes the 4th stimulus recon easier to pass. Corporate taxes are used to pay for the recon, 4th recon. And by raising the corporate taxes, the president needed to fix the global minimum corporate tax rate. He's now fixed it in a major achievement, making it easier to do the following. 1, easier to write the recon because you don't need this provision in there. It's now in the international law. Number 2, easier to call the vote. Number 3, easier to pass it. Can we top that? We can. In the 3rd and major part of this recording, we'll be going over what Chuck Schumer said in the last few hours. We'll be going over whether that's important or not important. We'll be going over the vote, the bills, how many vote, how many bills, what day, when, the July 4th, the July 15th, what you need to know and what you need to see. Also, we'll be going over what's happening next week that also impacts this analysis across the board. Then we'll also be cutting to 5th stimulus, and I'll explain whether the firing of Commissioner Saul at Social Security Administration impacts your reform of the Social Security Administration under 5th stimulus, or whether it doesn't. A lot of breaking news on this noontime broadcast. But first, here's a little bit about the volunteers. If you've been in the live chat and you've seen the people post the big monies they've gotten for rent, utilities, and internet, and you want that money, please go get it. If you've not been able to get it, then don't worry, because I got your back and the volunteers got your back. They can help you find that money and get that money for you. How do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down in the description, you'll see an emoji of a house. Next to an emoji house is a link to the community page. The community page has volunteers separated from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Reach out to them and they'll help you get that money. And here's a little bit about them. I'll be back in 60 seconds with that big final 15 minutes finale of your 4th stimulus check update. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues in the second half of this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, starting right now with big details about what Chuck Schumer did just yesterday. Then we'll go over the firing of Commissioner Saul and whether it impacts your benefits as they're up for a raise under fifth stimulus. And this is LALATE. I want you to subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button right now. Fastest growing channel of its kind on YouTube. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes. Every like delivers a sign of you'll play. And consider becoming a member. Join me next on Afternoons LALATE at 3 p.m., followed by Evenings LALATE at 5 p.m. Big shows tonight. Then Sirloin at 8, Overnight's Crypto at 5:30, and Evening's Couple at 7 as well. Let's cut right into fifth stimulus with the big news across the board. Commissioner Saul, the head of Social Security Administration, fired on Friday. Is this an impact on your fifth stimulus at all? It is not. Commissioner Saul had nothing to do with the passage or non-passage of fifth stimulus. In fact, the president doesn't have anything to do with the passage of fifth stimulus. The fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up across the board, is coming from Congress. Why are they writing it? They, in fact, wrote it and saying that the president had promised to you during the campaign trail and the transition papers, and he didn't deliver it. So they're doing it. It has nothing to do with Commissioner Saul. Does the firing of Commissioner Saul impact you at all? No, not at all. So why did this happen? Why was he fired? We really don't know. He's not supposed to be fired, according to him. He's a term official, and that he's not supposed to be changed out, just like Jay Powell, based upon who's the president. But Biden went to court for a previous firing and won in the Supreme Court, and now is claiming that he has authority to fire Saul. Saul says he will be showing up and work on Monday and will be threatening to sue if he is terminated. Interesting. Now, under fifth stimulus, they're going to raise your benefits up across the board, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the asset limit, remove the income exclusion, remove the marriage penalty. Again, this is Congress, not Commissioner Saul. And certainly the president promised to do this, but this is not coming from him. This is Congress. And they write legislation, not him. Before I get to those details, again, yes, under fifth stimulus, there will be another stimulus check. This will be next year, and it will not overlap with fourth stimulus. It will be written by that same House Ways and Means Committee. Number two, the president, before firing Saul, dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration to ensure your third, fourth, and fifth stimulus, and also your monthly checks get out on time. And number three, if you're missing a first, second, or third stimulus check, you need to do two things. One, file the tax return, and number two, request it on a particular line in the tax return. If you haven't done that, you need to go to a tax preparer to do this. Okay, so what's going on then with your benefits? Well, they'll raise them up one big time. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, under fifth stimulus. Then they'll apply the new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. They apply at the end of this year for next year. Last Thursday was chaos as Wall Street literally went like this when they thought about where inflation's going. Suddenly on Thursday, the Treasury yields fell 1.25%, which is basically interest rates, which is enormous in just a few hours. And this was based upon the concern that economic slowdown may be occurring and that the variant is spreading. World economies were stalling. China showed a shortage of growth in June. Stock market crashed on Thursday. Japan state of emergency. There was a lot of things going on. What is my opinion of the situation? I'm going to go with Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve. He still says that inflation is going up and is going to reach its highest price point in December. Now, I do think that the inflation rate may be lower than we initially maybe thought. So let's choose a number, maybe 5%. Let's say it's 5%. That will raise your benefits up an additional 5%, but not just next year. Lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can have more than $3,000 on hand. Now you have room to have a stimulus check and some tacos. They're going to remove the income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to finally marry your longtime love interest. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear the marriage penalty. It would not be retroactive. And that's for stimulus. If you're watching this video and you're wondering, wait a second, how are all these wonderful people in the live chat with that emoji of a purple hawk next to their name getting this some money? And how do they get that emoji of the purple hawk? They're members. If you go into this video, it says join here, click that button. It'll allow you to become a member. By becoming a member, you're delivered daily from me to you a breakdown of all the monies that's available for you under third stimulus. When third stimulus passed, I said, yeah, you get a $14 stimulus check, but I'm going to get you $14,000. Well, it turns out I'm getting people a lot more than $14,000. I'm getting viewers $24,000. Yes, on top of the stimulus check. That's money. Why would you not do this? Why would you not get the money that was dedicated for you under third stimulus? Cash that money now. Don't be tracking a fourth stimulus check. Cash the money available for you under third stimulus that the government gave you. Consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the channel, pinned comment. All right, let's go into the final 15 minutes. Here we go for your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 starting right now. Number one, what happened to that July 4th date? Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi 1,000 times said the final vote on the recon would be by July 4th. Well, the problem was that at the time they said that statement, they thought the recon was passable. They therein learned that that recon was no longer passable. They pulled their Democratic members and they said the recon's too big, you need to take roads and bridges out. Okay, so they took the roads and bridges out and made the now smaller recon. But I would say, wait a second, that was 2 Wednesdays ago. 2 Wednesdays ago was before July 4th. So why not call the vote on the smaller recon? Next answer is because there's a series of Democrats that are requiring the vote on the bipartisan to happen shortly afterwards. Here's what you need to know. So the recon has to be called for a vote before the bipartisan or concurrently with the bipartisan. And a series of Democrats say it has to be called shortly in time. To which I'd say, well, the recon is finished for writing, isn't it? Most Democrats represent the recon is already written or is finished or is close to being finished to writing. So then just call the recon for a vote now and then get to the bipartisan, in October, November. The issue is that, roads and bridges, they've been crumbling for 50 years. We can't crumble anymore. I'm not crumbable. And so that is not doable. Why is that not doable? Because there's a series of Democrats who say, no, you have to have the recon called for a vote close in time to when the bipartisan is, like a week apart or a couple days apart. Okay, so then I would say, so how much of the bipartisan have you written? And then the shocker hits. We realize that very little of the bipartisan has been written and it's not finished. How did we get here? We got here because unbeknownst to us, when Shelley Moore Capito was meeting with the president to negotiate through the month of June for the bipartisan, she never came with a bill. She never came with a pen and paper. Maybe she doesn't own a pen. And then when those negotiations fell apart in the month of June, he started to meet with other people for the bipartisan. That became an agreement finally in 2 Wednesdays ago. But those people, no bill, no pen, no paper. So nothing was written, to which I would say, wait a second here. That was 2.5 weeks ago. It was 2 Wednesdays and a half a week. What have you written since then? Here's where you have to step up, Purple Power. This is 2020 all over again. Hashtag write the bill. Hashtag write the bill. Not acceptable. It's not acceptable to say it's been 2.5 weeks and no one has finished writing the bill on the bipartisan which you should have been writing when Shelley Moore Capito was meeting with the president. Should have been writing when the bipartisan group was meeting with the president. Unacceptable. So you need to push Purple Power and push hashtag write the bill. They need to get this bipartisan bill written so that we can get the recon called to a vote. Number 2, dates. Now that you learned about July 4th, what about July 15th? Well, I love my viewers. They know this answer. July 15th, July 14th has nothing to do with forced stimulus. That's third stimulus. Third, the children, which I'm not covering on this channel. Third stimulus. To which some people say, well, I know it is third stimulus, but can they just send out our check while they're sending out the kids' check? No. It's not like they have the printers on and they can print out another check. No. One is one package, one is another. Next. How about the vote? I've seen some people ask about the vote, and now I'm bringing the vote back into the mix. Some people said, okay, so just call the vote tomorrow, and we're done, and the check will go out the next day. No, this is not a dictatorship. It's a democracy. For a bill to become a law, the Senate has to vote on it, the House has to vote on it, the President has to sign it. Okay, to which some people may say, that's just two votes. No, in this case, we have 3 bills. 3 bills? Yep. We have the recon procedural, we have the recon substantive, and the bipartisan. So how many steps is that? That is 12 steps, but it doesn't take 12 days. They can do it in a shorter period of time. There's 3 rounds of 4 steps. Senate subcommittee, Senate floor, House president, and there you go. Have to do that 3 times. 12 steps, and away we go. Next, it's important to know that when making edits to a recon, to add in or extend or to continue or reactivate something that was under first stimulus, it's literally 10 seconds of work. Under first stimulus and CARES Act 1 of 2020, when legislators were writing provisions like PUA and creating them, they created acts that said the act that created PUA. When they went to go do second stimulus and then third stimulus, it literally only took a sentence to say, we're doing PUA again for another week, for another 6 weeks, period, end. That's it. It's literally just 5 words. So if you think that you want to get them in those subcommittees to extend unemployment benefits or extend eviction moratorium, a mortgage forbearance, a student loan debt forgiveness, or any of those things which are, well, not student loan debt forgiveness because that's not actually in the books yet, but anything that already existed on a previous stimulus package, all they have to do is say, we extend it or we reactivate it. This number of weeks, done. It's a very simple task, which is why you have to push. The economic data from last week was horrible. I saw it, you saw it, Congress saw it, and the president saw it. It's times like this that you have to wonder, there's 2 events that could happen. 1, the economic data is really good, and then suddenly naysayers will come out and say, oh, the economic data is really good, they're not going to give us anything. Economy's in a grave situation. Or when the economic data is bad, like last week, bad jobless claims, bad numbers out of foreign countries, bad numbers out of Wall Street. Everyone thought everything was bad. When things are bad, you ask for a lot of money. You got to be opportunistic. So purple power, you have to push. Next week, Wall Street, next week, Congress will be looking at this. What are they looking at? They're looking at the corporate earnings that start for a new round of corporate earnings for several weeks. And if you start to see bad report after bad report, that'll help you. If you start to see good report after good report, that may push back against you. So you have to be opportunistic now before too many good corporate earnings reports come in. PepsiCo, JP Morgan, Chase, and Goldman Sachs report earnings on Tuesday. As to PepsiCo, Jim Cramer says, I think the numbers will be great, but they have to talk to us about raw costs, keeping them in freight line. Then later in the week, we have the banks like Bank of America and Citigroup. But then midweek, we have Delta. And Jim Cramer says, I want to know how much damage the Delta variant has done to Delta. And we need to know business travels are finally coming back. If they're not coming back, more reason for stimulus. And then later in the week, we have businesses like Alcoa and First Horizon. This is why it's very, very important to get it going. Finally, it's important to note that that Chuck Schumer had a comment on Friday, but I don't really think much of his comment. What did Chuck Schumer say on Friday? The breaking news about Chuck Schumer is he said the following. congressional members should be ready to stay in town and work in August. Okay, let's go over that. First, over the last 2 weeks, I told you, the same as I told you in 2020, that the Speaker of the House, the leader of the Senate, and the president have the authority at any time to order members back into session to vote on something. So the president, Chuck, and Nancy at any moment can order people back in town to vote on something. They're not left town, but I'm referring to in the future. Well, what I do like about Chuck's comments on Friday is it goes beyond that. He's basically saying, get ready to stay in town. Now, here's why I don't want to read too much into his comments, because it's a vague set of words. It's very vague. Get ready to stay. Okay, what does that mean? Get ready to stay. When he comes out with something a little bit more definitive, then I'll explain and report that to you. I do like that it's beyond this fact of just saying, I'm bringing you back in town to vote. He's saying, get ready to stay in town. But here's what you need to know. I think if he didn't say that, it would have looked ridiculous. I mean, you sort of expect him to say something like that. And there you go. What's important to understand is that the economic data was bad last week. Economic data that's bad helps you. So you need to push Purple Power. You'd have been doing a great job on social media, but need to keep on pushing. Tag those Democrats, tag those caucus members, tag those progressives, tag the progressive caucus leaders and sub-leaders, and the progressive caucus itself. Call up your Democratic senators. Don't ask where your money is. Tell them why you need the money. I need a stimulus check because I lost my job and I can't find any job. I lost my job, and the town where I'm in, there's no money for a lot of assistance, and we need more money in this town. Tell them the situation. They want to hear from you, and make that push. Things are heating up, and I'll be with you next, of course, on Afternoons LA. That's going to be a big broadcast tonight at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, followed by Evenings LA at 5 p.m. Then Overnight's Crypto at 5:30, then Evenings Crypto at 7, and then Sirloin is back at 8. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes. Every like helps. It also delivers some young play. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.